everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I am your host, the One Take Man, and have been your host for the past year actually. On the 23rd of June 2020, I posted the first video on this channel, and I want to use this date, June 20th, 2021, to mark off the 1 year anniversary. And I thought I'd celebrate this by taking a look at some ground I've tread before in the history of this channel, namely answering some more questions by George Stiles. Why have I chosen to do this as my anniversary video? Well, because in the past year, the one thing that I have to say has most dramatically or most interestingly changed about my social life is just how much of Twitter I thought it, just how much I've been able to integrate within the Twitter's writing community, and just talking to people about what it is they're writing about, what kind of questions they have, how I can use these questions to refine my own writings, or how I can inspire others to to refine theirs, and also even outside of writing, just general curiosities that I can use Twitter for. All of these revelations have been quite stirring for me, and have made my time there very much worth my while. And I'm not gonna lie, George Stiles is one of the main contributors to that revelation. And to that extent, I'm going to indulge in that a little bit more today. Setting the timer at 15 minutes because my camera's got new settings and I can only film for 20 minutes at a time. And let's get started, shall we? Do you think the afterlife would be a place where we would have total control of everything? No. Well, okay, that depends on a lot of things, namely how fair is that afterlife, and also I have to wonder whether or not certain desires or certain desired categories would not be banned for whatever reason. What would that reason be? I don't know. Maybe it's not altruistic. Maybe it leads to harm in the long run. I'm not even sure who decides that. I'm not even sure if there would be some kind of decision maker, but overall it is, I'm using Occam's razor here, it is similar to assume that this kind of thing just can't happen. Do you think in an afterlife that you run into the same people you knew in your living life? What's the afterlife questions, George? Anyway, I think you would if both of you either agree to it or are open to it. I lean to think that it's if both of you are open to it, because if you say yes and the other person says no, that could make you miserable, or that is assuming a positive afterlife, i.e. heaven. If we're assuming a negative afterlife, i.e. hell, then maybe you only meet if none of you wants it, or if only one of you wants it. I don't know. That's that's my answer right there. Next, have you ever had your fortune via tarot cards read? No. Okay, I should read some more engaging comments. Questions. Regardless of whether you believe in an afterlife or not, do you think you would be the you at the time of your passing, or the you at your peak age in your life if you were in it? There are various. I'm not exactly sure. I imagine you'd be some kind of composite of either the best or the worst parts of your life, whatever it is. So you'd be as wise as you are when you're died, but as enthusiastic as when you were a kid, or whenever your maximum of enthusiasm was, that kind of thing. Which one scares you more, germs or pathogens? Pathogens. Germs are just everywhere and mostly harmless, so they're not really going to harm, and so they're not really a problem. Pathogens, however, are distinctly called that way because they are harmful. So, yeah, they are definitely more worthy of scary. Do-do-do-do-do. Are you a big fan of forests and trees? Yes. And if so, are you a bigger fan than I am? How am I supposed to know how big of a fan you are? I can't really answer that. For the men. Okay, this is a question he retweeted. When thinking about Friends, the TV show, are you more of a Ross, Chandler, or Joey? I like to think I'm a Chandler, but more than likely I'm a Ross. Do you think that being a homeowner is now an idea of the past? It will be an idea of the past until owning a home becomes easier. And I'm saying that, and you know, overall in the entire world. So as soon as homes become affordable again, then it will become more tempting to get one. Because surprise, surprise, having an affordable home is more important than having a luxury one, I'll say. But people only build luxury homes because they want to maximize their money. Even though that's kind of bullshit, because people don't need luxury homes, they just need homes. They just need roofs over their heads. That's why renting is such a thing. Anyway, do you think people have less time for entertainment and extracurricular? Can't read. Do you think people have less time for entertainment and extracurriculars and are more concerned about how to afford things? Yes. Thank you, capitalism. Oh, and you're starting to make video questions. I'm not gonna play them. I'm just gonna find questions that are. I'm just gonna find readable questions. Do you agree with the statement, all points of view are equally valid? No. Would you consider yourself a good person? Kinda. Well, okay, I know people who are better than me in various ways. But then again, I acknowledge what faults I do have most of the time, and try to do my best to at least mitigate them, or not put myself in a situation where they could cause harm to either me or others. Whether or not I'm successful, yeah, I don't know. Do social media likes indicate any level of objective legitimacy, or is it all just favoritism? It's all just favoritism. It should supposedly also be somewhat legitimate because consensus. However, there's a difference between social media consensus and scientific consensus, as in what is specifically engineered to be more objectively legitimate. The other is just look at this thing and have a reaction. So yeah. Yes. So the brief answer is no. Do you believe relativism is exactly how things truly work? Depends what kind of relativism we're talking about. There's a link here, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole. This video can only go so long. Do you know when IYI, idiot yet intellectual? Yeah. My dad. Have you ever known someone with helicopter parents? I know helicopter grandparents, my own. Funnily enough, my paternal grandmother was very dismissive towards her son, or at least her oldest son. But towards me, she's like, she acts like she's my sole provider, even though she really isn't. And keeps infantilizing me, but yeah, I'm not gonna bombard you with my drama too much. Another afterlife question. Do you think in an afterlife oh, wait, did this? Okay, this scroll back to the beginning. Let's go a bit further. Would you back a scientific endeavor that aimed to allow humans to breathe underwater? It's not just breathing that makes life difficult for humans underwater. So, if your aim is just what is your aim, to just encourage exploration? And if so, then you're only encouraging exploration down to a specific depth. Otherwise, you're just kind of shifting the problem rather than actually solving it. And I'm pretty sure there would be some volunteers who would who'd want to do that, but overall, I don't know. maybe if someone explains me the benefits, I'll consider it. But for now, my answer is no. Do you believe that there are people who scam and or cheat their way through college, university? I know there are. I'm actually related to one, but you didn't hear it from me. Have you ever lost your cool on someone above 40? No. I do sometimes lose my composure, but that's a different thing. Do you believe you've had a fair amount of opportunity come your way in your life? Yes and no. In some ways it was, in others I've been spoiled, in others I've been neglected. So yeah, that's the kind of thing. How important is devotion to you? What kind of devotion are we talking about? I prefer, I would call it enlightened self-interest, but anyway, I want to say, I would prefer the term eloquent engagement, as in you know someone is good for you, but you still recognize that they might have potential problematic aspects of them, and you do your best to seek cohabitation. That means seek cohabitation that you also like. So don't just be self-sacrificing. Be responsive, be reactive. That's kind of my thing. If we're talking devotion to stuff like social or political causes, yeah, that is also something that we should regard with a lot more flexibility than such a question would imply. Are you good at fixing things? Sometimes. Depends on the things. Who is worse, the actual bad guy or their devil's advocates and enablers? Ooh, this one's heavy. I will say, for now I'll say they're enablers. But then again, they're not really bad in and of themselves. They are a symptom of something bigger that's bad. We're talking about flip over? Okay. Oh, so flipping over caused it too. Never mind. The problem with devil's advocates and bad guy enablers is that they are emblematic of something else, something bigger that is really broken with society. So you know, one particular bad guy saying that something completely outrageous is the default is to some extent inevitable. So and it is something we can live with. Something most people can filter out, even if they recognize whatever merits said bad guy might have. But if people look at the statements of the bad guy and only see the merit, not the defaults, or are willing to ignore the bad aspects of his speeches, because they think whatever they sacrifice or whatever others will sacrifice for it is worth it, then that is a systemic problem. Those are people who have been failed by the way society operates. Those are people who have been screwed over by the rest of us, and that is what makes them bad in a sense. The fact that they are willing to act on pain and on resentment. That is something that needs to be avoided in the future. Okay, moving ahead. If someone tries to convince you that someone would never take advantage of a good thing, I'm assuming we're talking about the same person both times this someone is used, would you believe them? If they prove themselves worthy of such a belief, yes. Enablers, innocent henchmen, or perhaps the real bad guys. Some of them might be innocent henchmen, or at least as innocent as henchmen could be, but others really are just, straight up bad guys, straight up people who want to abuse the system for their own benefit. Cough, January 6th, cough. In terms of performances, shows, and other art, are audiences as attentive nowadays as they were in the past? Well, I think people are more aware of how valuable their time is now, and are therefore less willing to spend that time if they find it, whatever it is they are spending it on, is not worth the engagement. Doesn't have a meaningful investment on return. So they might be to some extent more discerning, but that could also mean that they are less interested in general in intellectual pursuits. That might be the case. What would you do if there was a movement where people were against washing their hands under any circumstances and you couldn't discriminate against them? Well, I can't discriminate against them directly for that, but I can say they give me bad vibes otherwise. It's what companies do to discriminate people in vulnerable positions, or from marginalized groups. So that's something I could do. I could say it's not because they don't wash their hands, it's because they give me a bad vibe. I don't say that bad vibe is because of the hands, I'm just saying it exists. And yeah, I know that's kind of hypocritical of me. That might be a bit hypocritical of me to say, because I'm all for including people from marginalized communities, but on the other hand, people who don't wash their hands are provably legit bad for society in ways that marginalized communities aren't. So I would still be in the right here. Did smoking lose its popularity because of the graphic pictures on cigarette packs, or because cell phones rose in popularity? Were you high when you wrote this, George? Like, what the hell? Oh, okay. My time is up, but still I'll answer this one question. It's not because cell phones rose in popularity, because in Eastern Europe, cell phones and cigarettes were quite prominent around the same time, and I can safely say that one didn't cause the other to go down. Hell, in some cases they actually sustain each other as symbols of social status. It is really, and I'm not even sure it's really the graphic pictures on the packets. It's more a general awareness that smoking is bad for whatever reason. And it is because of that people have made the conscious choice that, okay, smoking is bad, I won't do anything bad to myself anymore, I'm just gonna quit. Not everyone can, but whatever. And that's been it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please leave a like. If you have anything you'd like to comment or add to this video, the comment section awaits your input. And if you want to see when the next video comes out, then please subscribe. Maybe also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. Thank you very much for sticking by with me over this past year, and I look forward to giving you, more and better videos. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.